You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Sitting Down.
She loves it. She loves it. Look at her. Look at the smile. Oh my god, Ashley smile.
She's so happy.
Welcome back to another episode of Sitting Down with the Sisters.
We're your host. I'm Temi.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Ayo. This is the most chaotic intro.
But you guys love it.
You love it.
You already know someone is back in the building. Do you know what's
We
so
don't
mad?
even need to introduce.
Yeah, you
them.
guys. If you're PSA. If you've been watching us from the beginning, when we were in our bedroom, you should know who this one is.
Yes.
No introduction. Do you know what's so mad? You haven't been on here for the last time was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
No,
season 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stu.
Guys, we had to bring the chairman, the chief, the CEO of
Soapboxx Studios.
Mr. Soapboxx.
Mr. Soapboxx.
This is Mr. Soapboxx, you know.
If you didn't know,
Transmission push.
They know.
they know. They know. Whoever they are, they know.
No, sorry, it's my podcast. I was wishing.
I'm screaming. But yeah, Gbengz.
to the pod.
All right.
Yeah,
Gbengz, do you have
Gbengz
anything to
back.
say to the
Do you have-
people?
Yeah, it's been a
Hi
while.
guys, it's been a while. It should be fun though, innit? You get me?
Yes.
We always love having him on.
Honestly.
Honestly, he's
Nah,
part of the family. Do you know what I mean?
And all the details will be down below. Soapboxx Studios.
Book Soapboxx. If you want to start something, book Soapboxx. That's
it.
really the
if
long
you want
and short.
professionalism, if you want class, it's Soapboxx.
We'll look after
Look
you.
at
man.
where we
That's
are
it.
right now. All right.
Colors.
Beautiful
colors. Chocolate.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today, this topic's actually well overdue. We've been wanting to speak about this,
Yeah,
but we
true.
wanted to have a male perspective on this one, and we are discussing outgrowing friendships. Some of you this might convict some of you, this might move some of you. Some of you might even be going write paragraphs to someone you've
I'm
done wrong
dead.
to, or someone who's done
dead.
wrong to you.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
we're going to talk about it all today, guys.
No, yeah, fine.
My first question to you all.
Go for it, my love.
Have you outgrown any friendships this year?
Actually, can I say first of all, what an introduction.
Yeah.
Do you like it? Was it
I
powerful?
like it. It was
Yeah.
very
Wow, thank you
powerful.
so much.
Yeah.
Well
Did you
spoken,
practice?
sis.
You practiced
No, I
in the
didn't.
mirror?
In the
Well
mirror.
spoken,
It just came.
Honestly,
You freestyled.
Touch
Wow.
me.
That's a very good question. Have I outgrown any friendships
This year.
2021.
This year.
I need to think, you know. I don't think so. I feel like most of my outgrowing friendship years were a while ago.
Really?
Most of the friends I have now are like
It's been solid. That's a
Like,
blessing.
Can I ask something? When we use the word outgrown, does it mean we've literally ended a friendship, or we've outgrown it and it's not where it used to be before?
I think
Ooh,
both.
that's a
That's a good
You can still be friends with that
distinction.
person, because I feel like when people think of outgrowing, they think they've completely
Cut
let
the
go.
person
Cut their bridge. Yeah, you
But it
burnt their
could
bridge.
mean like we're just not where we used to be anymore. We're
I
just
think
in a
both
different
then,
space,
in
like
that-
maybe a more mature space, or we're just not as close as we were.
If I'm honest, I feel like the term outgrowing friendships is always negative. Like it's in a
Negative
negative
That's what I'm
way.
trying to
Doesn't
say.
necessarily mean that you hate the person,
Yeah.
but when you say it's not where it used to be, like in a negative way,
Yeah.
like you don't speak as much,
Yeah.
you're not in contact,
Yeah.
there's nothing to say
because
anymore.
the definition of outgrowing it's not necessarily.
Yeah, it means
bad
you,
thing.
like
Yeah, it
it's
means-
not meshing anymore.
and it doesn't mean it's ended.
Exactly.
It puts the image in my head of like someone's left someone.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like it could just be like a mutual distance.
yeah.
Like
Actually.
a mutual distance. Yeah.
I feel like most times I don't
It's not mutual most of the
More
time.
time is not mutual, but I feel like that's the healthy version of
Yeah,
outgrowing.
that's the
someone.
mature version.
Because you can both realize that we don't even need to be as.
It ain't working.
Yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say? It doesn't need to be as.
And sometimes
it was,
it's not
innit?
even said. Like it might say, for instance, you might have had a disagreement or
Facts.
something happened where you saw them in a way that you were shocked, and maybe in you're like, okay, I have to now within myself feel like, you know what, there's a distance I need to put between me and so person because that's what would be healthier for the for the
Right.
friendship, or yeah. So I don't know
true.
if this year though, even that one, I don't know.
What about you, Gbenga?
This year, I don't think I've outgrown anyone this year. Just because like I feel like the people I started the year with, like they're all still in my
still
life.
there.
It's all like it's
Hallelujah.
solid, isn't it? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I wouldn't say this year. I think that's more something like what I was saying. It's something that happens like when you're a bit younger. I feel like that uni period where you don't see each other as much as you used to. Do you get me? That uni period is where that really happens, and I think that's more of a like a unspoken thing. Do you get me? That will happen like
100%.
the friendships run its course kind of thing.
That is so true.
That's a good point though.
When
uni.
it's naturally what fizzles
Fiddles,
out.
yeah.
Because when we all went to uni, like, remember we had a big batch in sixth form.
I can
Do you
vouch.
remember?
Oh, do you know what I
This
thought you were going to
mafia,
say? I was going to
this
say.
mafia that was
Not the
running
mafia.
Harris.
Literally terrorizing the sixth form.
This mafia.
I thought you were going to say, oh, in uni we had a big batch. I was like,
No,
what
like,
big batch did I have?
no. We all went to different unis as well.
No, I thought you meant individually. But you had
no.
big batches.
Oh,
You know, me and Ashley barely had any friends at uni.
Barely.
What
No.
friends did I have in
Actually, I didn't
uni
have
like
any.
that?
Tell
I'm
me.
dead.
Huh?
Wait, what did she say?
So which friends did she have in uni? Anyway, we don't need to get into
No,
that.
I'm not
you're
saying that.
right.
No, guys.
I love you.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying. Hello.
What are you talking about?
Do not.
Is she forgetting?
Let me
The
speak.
Snapchat I need to remind you.
Dead.
Snapchat memories.
It's not as if
I'm
I don't
finished.
have. I'm not saying I didn't have any friends in uni, but I didn't have a big batch in comparison to sixth form.
Oh no, that's not what we're saying. But
No,
you
that's
had
not what
friends.
we're saying. Yeah, we're just saying.
Yeah, of course I had friends.
Anyway, we don't need to.
But I can
we don't
count
need to
them all on
discuss
one finger.
Temi's personal life. What we're saying is that from sixth form to uni, our friendships changed.
Yes.
Like I remember, we had essentially in sixth form as well. This is what also changes about friendships. In sixth form, you tend to have batches of friends, like huge batches, where you have different relationships with each other in the
Within
group, but
the-
you're
yeah.
known as a friendship group. Whilst when you get older, I feel like your friendship groups are usually a bit smaller, a bit tighter, and you have deeper relationships. So like the
Yeah.
friendship batch we
That's
had in
how it
sixth
should
form.
be anyway.
Oh yeah, that's how it should be. But the friendship batch we had in sixth form, I wasn't hella close to every single person.
Yeah.
But we all were just friends.
We all got
but then
along.
as we went to uni, like naturally friendships dropped off,
course.
and the ones that wanted to remain, or the ones that we
remained.
cared about. That sounds a bit not in a bad way. The ones we were more
No, because
The ones you were intentional about.
Yeah.
stayed. The ones that you stroke a deeper chord with, they stayed. So
Yeah,
that's
and I noticed a lot, not just with our friendships, but friendships in general from sixth form. A lot of people that maybe never even thought that they'd be close are close as well.
That's so true.
Do you know what
That's
I mean?
so
it's
true.
good to see
Because there's
things like-
people now that I'm like, not people, but maybe like one or two. I'm like, I never would have thought that we'd still be
as close
in
as we
contact
are,
till this day.
Yeah.
and there's
It's
people
mad.
that fell. Maybe our friendship fell off like maybe the second year of uni, but now we're trying to reignite it now.
Yeah.
So it could anything can happen.
Anything
true.
can happen. Yeah, and in a few years' time, you never know what could happen as well.
It's true.
You know?
Tell me, you didn't answer. What about you? Have you outgrown any friendships this year?
Do you know what?
Sorry.
Right, I would say. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have. I feel like there are friendships that I could be going through rocky patches with. Like we could be having moments. Outgrow, like I said, outgrow just sounds very negative. It
sounds
sounds like
final.
the end or be
Final.
the
Sounds final.
like the final hurdle. But I wouldn't say I've reached the final hurdle with any friendship. I'm definitely
That Nigerian just
It
nearly
was
fell out.
there. It was about to drop. Final.
She
caught it. She caught it.
If you don't take
She
that out,
caught it. Oh my god.
We're keeping it.
It
was sweet. Be sis, you're free.
No, that's
let them change you.
jokes.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Oh no, that's cute. It's so cute when she. I feel like it's
Don't
so cute.
betray
when you
your
have those
craft.
moments.
Anyway, final hurdle.
It's the way Benga's laughing.
Then got out.
She tried to call me a freshie before we started recording the pod. Simple H words you can't say.
Mate, if you watched the last episode, you also know she was born in Niger.
I was born in Niger, you know what I mean?
It's actually
alright,
okay. It's
alright.
actually
It's
okay.
fine. We embrace it.
Any flipping way. Yeah, I don't think I've reached the final hurdle with any of my
That's a good
friendships
point.
yet, but definitely like going through. I've had rocky patches with like different people.
Alright,
Do you know
cool.
what I mean?
So my question to you would be like, when does a rocky patch?
He really had his own moments.
Oh God.
Rocky.
My God. When does it? In the love race.
I'm so finished. So
Wow.
when, can I talk?
She's not gonna let you go after the way you came
Can I
first.
talk?
Go on.
So when does a rocky patch like become like you need to make the decision that this needs to?
I think. Do you know what? It depends what the situation is.
that
Obviously,
too.
it depends what caused the rocky patch. I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I think when a friendship, I don't know. It depends on the person, the people as well. Depends on the. If it depends on a lot of things. Depends on
yeah.
the kind of friendship you have with that person.
Their character.
Their character. You know, all that stuff there. But I don't want to seem as if I'm not answering your question, but I think it all. I was gonna say it all comes down to how important the friendship is to you, but I don't think that's true.
But that's true.
The reason why I don't think
it depends.
And the reason why it depends is because some friendships could still be so important to you, but you have to let it go.
That's facts.
And
do you know what I mean?
One thing I've realized this year is just because a decision hurts doesn't mean that decision is bad.
Facts. Do you get what
You want to shoot me?
Wow.
Listen.
Why do you want to preach today?
Psychology.
Why do you want to
Wow.
Just finished.
Let me
You know what I mean?
I've learned that firsthand because sometimes as humans, when something hurts, we'll be like, oh, that means I made the wrong decision. That means I should go back to being comfortable. And that's why, if you asked me this last year, I would have said it depends on how important the friendship is to you. But now I would say, if there's a lack of understanding, if you're not understanding where I'm coming from, and I'm not understanding where you're coming from, and we can't come to a mutual agreement where we can move forward, for me, there's no amending it.
And your most recent memory of them is not a happy one.
Exactly.
You just find yourself not being happy.
And if you're disturbing my peace,
person.
you're not respecting my boundaries. Like,
Wow.
You have to go.
Actually, I was gonna.
Which one?
If you're outgrowing friendship this year.
Yeah.
No, guys, not this year. But have you ever outgrown a friendship?
Yes. Well, I think that's where we're gonna go next.
Absolutely.
But like, do you know what's funny? The point that you guys made about the rocky patch, but it not being the end, I think is very powerful because for me, there's one relationship. I don't know if I'm going to say which one because it's not necessary, but it's one that means a lot to me. And we had a rocky patch. I don't know if it was this year or last year, but and the way it was resolved sat very poorly with me, just because I felt like the friendship deserved more than that. The bond I had with the person deserved more than that. I thought that the way it would be resolved would be completely different. But then over time, I feel like it naturally started to heal itself a little bit. I still think there's a conversation that needs to be had. But it's not I don't think it's the final. There was a point where I was like, no, I'm not even going to speak to that.
You basically.
But then it's because you're heavily feeling something when it freshly happens. Yeah. But I know it probably isn't the end. So what you said is true.
Do you know what? It's so mad you've said that. Yeah. So my next question to you guys would be: so say if you have outgrown a friendship
in life,
do you now think that you can make your way back, rekindle?
100%.
You go first.
Yeah. And say, okay, let me use the example of, say if the friendship ended like really badly, like to the point where you felt disrespected, and obviously in the moment you were like, yeah, that's it, like this person's not going to hear from me again. This is like, there's no hate, it's still love. I'll love and pray for him from a distance, but that's it. Like, do you think that? I
think the only way a friendship, let's say in that situation that you described, like following a violation or disrespect, the only way that the friendship can be rekindled is you can see that that person's grown and changed. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
But how can you measure that?
No, I feel like you can't always measure it, but I feel like there will be certain indications in their character and in the way they behave that you'll be able to know, no, this person's actually, he's a bit more mature.
I have trust issues, so I don't know.
But that's the thing. I think to touch on what Gbenga...
No, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, to touch on what Gbenga said, I genuinely think if the person wants to make the effort, the person that's wrong, the other person, they have to be mature enough to do the right thing and be intentional with coming to speak about it. Like, maybe they dealt with it poorly when they initially dealt with it, but if they feel, because I genuinely feel like, even if you're not a Christian, I feel like the way that the humans work, you're reminded of ways you dealt with stuff in your life all the time, and you're sometimes prompted. The Holy Spirit, I know for me, prompts me a lot of times to, if I've done something wrong, if I've hurt someone, to go back and mend it. Whether we always follow that prompting is like the difference, but I think that happens for all people. Do you know what I mean? Unless you've turned it off. Some people, your heart is cold, it's black, so I don't know.
My only thing with what you said, Ayo, is even if, for me personally, even if a person has come back to me to even have a conversation and try to rekindle, that doesn't necessarily mean they have changed.
That's fair.
So if you say, let's say for example, I've had an issue with a friend and we're trying to rekindle it, and they've literally put their differences aside and they've called me to want to speak to me about it, all I can say in that moment, which I think a lot of people will agree with, will probably be, we can see where it goes. That's all I can give you in that moment. I can't completely go back to how I was with you before, because I've probably changed, you've changed, we have to get to know each other all over again, you know, things like that. So we can work on it, and then that's then a good space for you to then start to observe their behaviour, just to see if
you want them back in your life.
Because naturally it should go back there if they have changed, and if not, then maybe no. Because I think what you're saying is also true. There's also wisdom to distance in a friendship. There's some friendships that don't need to be restored to what they originally were,
and that's what I was gonna say. Just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you have to let them back in your life. Exactly. Like, it's actually okay to forgive and let them go,
and not even just let them back, but let them back the way you let them back before,
the first time,
like the level of friendship. So it could, like Ayo said, it could literally be like honestly, a different type of friendship.
It can be. It can change, and that's not negative. I think because that's what I was gonna then ask or like want us to discuss was like, how do you guys usually deal with outgrowing your friendships? Like, how does it usually look in your life?
First of all, let's just say friendship breakup hurts.
I feel like, do you think it's more?
They're painful.
I don't want to compare it to like
a relationship,
boyfriend, girlfriend. But I think people undermine just how painful it actually is.
Yeah.
Like you can lose sleep. There are people that are dying.
Facts.
No,
like even mate, I was even gonna say you can break up with somebody like when you have a romantic relationship, but a lot of the time it's losing them as your friend that hurts more than losing the romantic. If you had that with it, that's what hurts them. I personally think that's what hurts them.
I agree.
To me, like from past experiences, following the breakup, it's not really like, it's not the extra stuff that you miss. Like
it's not all the.
It's just
it's the bond.
That was the bonus.
You don't even remember that. It's the
connection.
It's the connection, and that's why most relationships, if you don't have a friendship, then it's sometimes a little bit empty. That friendship part of a relationship is so key, and when you lose that, even when you're in a relationship and you start to feel that it's lost, a lot of stuff starts to go wrong because that friendship part is so powerful.
Jesus,
do you know what I mean? So
this is why people find it hard to connect. Not just in a relationship, like boyfriend girlfriend relationship, even in friendship relationships, because it's just so hard to disconnect if that time ever came. Because it's just like, how do I go back to just not talking to you, acting like strangers,
or not having you in my life, because you're a big part of it.
Obviously I can't speak for everyone here, but this time last year things were probably different for every single one of us. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the people that you probably were speaking to now, at least one person,
it's changed.
Like
it's true.
It's mad.
It's so mad how life was.
I'm so dead. I'm so dead.
All she knows.
I'm so dead.
You're preaching,
Do you know what it is? Even though we all have different like healing processes and just the period of how much time it takes to heal, we all heal differently. Do you guys think, I feel like we've spoken about this before, do you think there should be a time limit to like how much you should heal and move on?
Like essentially how quickly we should get over
the situation.
Friendships are different, I feel like. Because with romantic relationships you should do a lot of work, only because they're very they're so all encompassing. With friendships, like you can make a new friend tomorrow. Like you could literally make a new friend tomorrow. They're not going to replace that. No, they're not going to. But I'm saying like the recovery is more. I think it's more of a personal recovery than a relational healing.
Do you know okay, quick one. I feel like everyone I have in my life right now, if I was to lose anyone,
I would feel it.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't think I would ever get over it.
That's what I was gonna say.
Really?
Okay, I have the right people right now.
I was gonna give an example.
Let me use you lot as an example.
Don't even start.
Oh, like guys, all of you being friends.
No.
We'll make friends. Who's replacing me?
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You didn't get it.
Who's gonna be another Temmie for you?
Nobody.
Tell everyone on the podcast.
Nobody.
She was saying something. Like
she didn't catch it. Anyway, don't worry. Anyways, what was you gonna say, Ash?
When I think of you lot, it like the thought of, I don't imagine it because it's not gonna happen. You're not going anywhere.
Where?
Let's just get that clear.
I mean, if I decide tomorrow,
no, you're not going anywhere. To me, what do you mean?
This diva.
She's so dramatic. Tomorrow. What's tomorrow?
If I just decide to wake up tomorrow and say,
okay, I'm gonna be at your house tomorrow then.
Look at her pink sock that she's talking about. Put your foot back in your shoe. I know what you're talking about.
You're the one that wants to replace me.
No, I don't. She's in pain.
She's in severe podcast.
Mate.
I'm gonna be like in the group chat. What did you mean by
you're in severe pains, isn't it? You're in severe pains.
She said she's gonna make new friends.
No, I didn't.
Where do you want to go?
Anywho,
nah.
Where do you want to go, Ash?
I'll sit down with your mum, Temi.
Mate, it's that
I'll
real.
sit down with your parents.
It's that real because then you've made bonds with their family.
That's it.
Like you've actually every part of your life you're in
anywhere.
there.
Okay, so I'm now thinking of you guys as an example. I don't think I would ever get over it.
Never.
If I'm being very honest.
Not in this lifetime, anyway.
You guys like us. You listen. It'll probably be when the Lord calls me back.
That's
home.
it.
Gbengz I can get over.
I am screaming.
Don't touch me. I don't even know you like that, bro. I don't even know you like. Why is she touching you, fella? And she meant that as well.
That's the thing.
For the people,
Look at her.
for the people on the pod.
No, I didn't.
I did.
Gbenga, I did it.
She doesn't even believe herself. Look at her.
It's fine. She had to do it. She had to do it.
No,
I
I said
didn't.
sorry.
Sorry.
She's not alright.
This girl.
She said, "Don't get too comfortable."
I'm sorry. No, I just clocked. Okay, I just realised we jumped over your question, and I really want Gbenga to answer this because you asked, "What does it look like
when you
outgrow friendships?" And the whole reason why we wanted Gbenga on here is to get a male perspective. Yeah. So, do you think that for guys it looks differently than women? Because the reason why I asked that is I always see guys on social media talking about, "Oh, girls can't keep friends; they're always falling out. If one girl doesn't come to their birthday dinner, they're not friends anymore."
Do you know what I will say? Yeah, the reason why guys say that is because I feel like a lot of male friendships exist in like groups, innit? So like on the surface of things, like the friendship is held together by the fact that there's bare of us. Do you get it? So there's not one person providing said support. Do you get me? You got someone for this, you got someone for that, you got someone for footy, you got someone for gym. So like if you lose someone, it's not that deep, innit? So you don't feel like you really need to reconnect, or you don't feel the pain as much as I feel like the friendship groups that you guys have. I feel like ours is a bit on the
Less
face.
meaningless.
It can be a bit more superficial if I'm being real.
Right.
And what
If
you're
I'm
saying
being
is,
real.
I think what you're saying as well is that females tend to, I don't know, people say females is the wrong word. I don't think it's wrong. I'm a female, innit? Anyway, females tend to develop emotional ties deeper and quicker, I think, in friendship than men. A lot of men can be just friends because they go football together and they go gym together.
buddies,
But
that's
you're
the only
like
time
the
they see
emotional
each other.
part.
I'm
and
not saying that the friendships don't mean anything.
they mean
That's
something,
that's still
and
my
that's
guy.
a big deal for the guys.
Serves a certain purpose.
But I just feel like the way we've been conditioned is to like,
Yes.
you're not supposed to rely on this
On
one
them
person
as your
for anything.
that's
You know what I'm
it.
trying to say?
And
And
I
that's
feel
how
like
we've
where
been built.
sometimes as women we go wrong is if we meet someone somewhere,
That's it for
like
us.
we'll be
so
like, okay,
good.
I want to make you my friend outside of that. Okay, so let's meet up here. Let's do that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but it doesn't need to be with
Everything.
Not every single friend is or
person you meet.
yeah, it's supposed to be. I feel
lifelong
like even
friend.
the term friend we use that very
Loosely.
loosely as women.
Mate, that's why there's that whole joke of how girls act in club toilets. Like they act like they've known each other their whole life, and
No,
they get
that's
obsessed with each other quick, like as if you've
Yeah.
known me.
Obviously, we're not saying it's
It's not a bad thing, but it's like girls have that
but it's just
tendency.
to prove our point that like they're
Yeah.
I don't know,
emotional
I've always
attachment.
found that a bit fake, personally.
It is fake. It is fake to a certain
know.
And to be
degree.
fair, to be honest, you don't realise that you're doing it because most of the people that are in the toilets, they're drunk. They don't remember the next
Do you know what I was
day.
gonna say? It's drunk talk.
But that's what I'm saying. You see how girls, that's what
fine.
comes out. Versus guys can literally meet each other. They're cool. They can make that.
Guys don't gel straight away. They're looking at
That's
each
what I'm
other like,
saying.
who's that?
They're cool. They're cool. They're better at. I don't know how to explain. Not better. That's not the right word. Like they don't form emotional connections straight away.
I feel we're a bit more cautious with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like, so when that does happen, when you form like a crazy bond with someone,
It's mad.
and then let's say something was to happen, and I feel like when that does happen with brethren, it's like a big violation, like a big deal.
It has to be.
And it's like it's difficult for them to really
Get
Is that
back.
why it then projects in your relationships with your girls?
Wow.
Wow. I wasn't expecting.
Powerful.
No, to be fair, she got a point though.
Yeah.
She got a point
Even
though.
though I was joking,
She has got a point.
But
Yeah,
him
yeah.
saying that made me realize that it could genuinely start to affect the relationships they have with the women in their lives, like especially the romantic ones, because then that's where they get the whole trust issues. And if you look at a lot of men that that have been hurt in the past, some of them have come from girlfriend relationships that they've had, but a lot of it has come from the guys that they've had in their lives,
Or maybe
or their dads and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I said
No, she's got a
That's
point.
a very great point.
She's got a point. I don't feel like guys do the whole repeating process of trusting people over and over
That's
again.
it as well.
And they don't really
So
deal
once there's
with
a value, there's a
heartbreak
value.
Yeah.
like women do. Not as if we are conditioned to deal with heartbreak a bit more, but on the same side,
Do you think it's healthy though?
Like what?
Like, you see how, for example, as women, like you guys can go through friendships and have friendship breakups over and over again, and it's like it's that heartbreak. But like I feel like a guy will have one or two, and it's like,
And then it's like,
That's
I
it.
don't trust
so
anyone
what's
ever again.
what's the healthier one? Like
I
going
think
through
it's
that
healthier
over
to
and
trust
over.
again.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to the way men and women, I'm a Christian. I believe God made women and men different, and I think the reason women are so resilient in that field of things is because they're created to be motherly and they're created to nurture and create environments for people to thrive. And that's just what it is like. And so we're taught that, you know, you just keep going. You just keep going, and you believe that by God's grace, you're going to encounter someone that's your person. And I mean, friendship wise, they're your person, like, and they'll get you. And I think it's always better to always go into stuff with the benefit of the doubt versus always going into new situations.
Like you're almost
taking your friendship trauma, from other friendships.
And I've noticed a lot of people do go into friendships having that mentality where they can't trust and you're projecting. How can you ruin a friendship that hasn't even started?
Sabotage from early,
from the jump.
You know what my number one rule, if you know me, is definitely when you meet someone new, it's always good to give people the benefit of the doubt, because it's not fair on the new person. It's not fair to not let them show you who you are.
Especially if you haven't even given them a chance, and because of what's happened in the past, you're already putting that on there.
Like you believe all men. It's the same way women talk about men, like all men are the same. All men are all different. The same way women are all different.
I think go on, sis.
No, you go on.
I think I read a quote somewhere about trust, and I think the person said something like, when you trust someone, it gives them the opportunity to show you the best of themselves. And it was really deep, and it's really deep, and it brings out the best in you because you're like free. You're vulnerable with this person, as opposed to I got my eye on you, like, kind of vibe.
And I genuinely believe that that's how God intended for us to live in our friendships with just any relationship in life, because it's so much more draining to go through life thinking this person's out to get me, this person's gonna hurt me, or these people they see me this way, this is gonna happen, blah blah. Like you're expecting.
But where do you draw the line though?
And it's also good to highlight that a lot of people that have this mentality, it's not as if they're doing it on purpose.
No, of course,
it's just what they've been conditioned.
As a result
due to like a place of hurt, not necessarily in just romantic relationships, but it can be they can literally get it from any type of relationship.
And even to touch what Gbenga said, where do you draw the line? I think where you draw the line is like, you have to have, I think it's about discernment and wisdom, because at the end of the day, you have to know, like, if you as a person aren't a good judge of character, then you'll continue to treat people, like, you have to take it upon yourself to know how to identify certain behaviors in yourself and in other people, because
what attracts people to you. Because if we literally look in, the sort of friendships and relationships we have in our lives, we can find similarities and common ground. So what is it that people see in me that they decide they want to talk to me and
or they want me to be around them?
That is so good.
That's what I mean. Because
and that goes for any relationship. Because I feel like it's very easy to point the finger at other people and be like, well, this person's rubbish, this person's not doing what I expect them to do.
So easy,
you're not on my level, you're not reciprocating the energy I'm giving. But then you have to actually look at yourself and be like, are you a good friend? Are you someone that someone else would want to be around? What are you? How are you serving the other person? Because it's not just about you. And I think especially within the last year anyway, with COVID and everything, a lot of people have realized, okay, this person in my life, you don't really actually need to be here because you were only here for a good time. You wasn't there when I needed you. And vice versa, you realize actually I'm not a good friend. I haven't checked up on this person in how long?
Do you know what? It's very triggering that you say that, actually, because there was a period in my life that I was that friend, I'll be honest, where I feel like I was just that kind of person where I didn't have a lot of permanent people in my life, and simply because I wasn't a permanent person myself to them. Do you know what I mean? So the people I would attract, like, I would make friends from different walks of life. Like, I made friends from my masters, from uni, from this, but because I was never the type to really check up on people, or I was just so into what I'm currently doing in that moment in life that I didn't mind if people walked out of my life. Obviously, my permanent friends were always there, like you guys. But in terms of new people that were coming into my life, it's like, if you leave, all right,
I don't care. Do you
regret it? It's not even like I don't care, but it's just life is.
They weren't as intentional at that time.
And it's just like, I can't come and kill myself. Like, I have so much going on.
Like, not even to be rude, but some people are only there for seasons, and that's where the discernment and wisdom comes in. Because where a lot of people are dealing with friendship hurt is you're trying to keep someone in your life longer than where they're supposed to.
All right, Ashley, thank you.
I'm sorry, let's say it. And I'm saying
you're coming to my door.
Ashley, get your foot off her neck.
No,
please.
No, because that's so deep.
I'm actually saying this to myself as well. Like, you'll meet someone and then and you'll only realise until when the friendship is done. And it's sad, but it's life. Like, we're humans.
Do you know what's crazy?
But it's like, that person was only meant to be there in that specific season
or in a specific capacity.
Exactly, because God knew that they could have helped you in that moment. It's not to say that now because you're not speaking anymore that you're supposed to hate each other or it's bad terms, but they're not supposed to have access to you in a certain way.
And just to carry on from that, I feel like with friendships like that, subconsciously, I feel like we always know.
Why are you in my head? I was going to say that.
When there's temporary people come into our lives, we know.
You're not gonna last a long time. I'm gonna say,
can I be honest? I don't mean it like that.
I'm preached now.
I don't even mean it.
The devil's the lie.
I don't even mean it where. That's why I didn't say it's in our conscious. It's in our subconscious. Because you know something is not completely right, or you know that it's not meant to last.
Something feels off.
Something feels off, but you don't do anything about it, and they end up being there longer than they need to be.
And can on our end?
Right. Now, I was going to touch on both of what you guys are saying because it's powerful. Because what you said is seasonal in terms of length, but even in capacity of friendship, someone is not meant. English. Some people are not meant to be as close to you as you've allowed them to be.
Right.
Like, and it sounds mad, but what you're saying is true because length is true. You might seasonal friends, yes, but also capacity of friendship. Like some people are not meant to be in your inner circle. That's not a negative thing.
Some people you invited them into your house. Why?
Because, and there's a reason God might be ministering to you and letting you know that person shouldn't be that close to you. What they're bringing into your life.
There was a drink up, man. It's actually a drink up. It's not my fault.
I was screaming.
Your house is dirty. You can only be angry at yourself.
You know? Because if you take it on a proper serious note, the reason they weren't meant to be that close to you is because if you see how your life has deteriorated since they gained that access to you and you look back at where you thought you would be and where you are now.
That real was a bit too loud.
No, but deteriorate. It's fact. Some people, once you bring them close to you, because you think you're the influencer, but you're not really, you're the influencee.
Oh, stop speaking like that.
Do you know why that's so mad? You have boundaries. All of a sudden, the boundaries are now here. The boundaries are non-existent, and things that you wouldn't have allowed previously to them.
Ways you wouldn't have acted. Things you wouldn't have done.
Things you wouldn't have said.
Wow.
It's all out the window.
I'm saying this because I've only coming to your door. I'm also coming to my own door. Okay? But it's real. Like a lot of us think we are the influencers in our friendships. But a lot of us are being influenced on like subconsciously. And our lives have changed. Like, mate, for me, I'm not even going to cap, I was so much more of a fervent, more disciplined person when it came to spirituality and my spirituality. And I feel like this year and last year has really changed that a lot. And I wouldn't even say that's a friendship thing. I do think it's more of a personal thing. But one thing that has kept me grounded and hasn't allowed me to go to the street is because the people that are closest around you, the people that are closest to me are still influencing me in the right ways. Right. Say for instance, then I've now let people in that are now influencing me to be even worse.
Be on the streets.
I'd have been in the streets, naked,
like a rat.
You know,
I wish.
So that's what you know what I'm saying. So that's the things you have to think about because I sometimes think about when I was 20. Well, to be fair, a lot of people say, when I thought about how my life would be in the future, I don't necessarily think I was always that type of person that thought that much forward. I can't lie. But now that I think back, I never thought I'd be where I am now at all.
In a good or bad way.
But both. Half and half. I always thought I would be a stronger person, especially spiritually. By now,
I feel you on that. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I feel you on that one heavy.
So that's just an example. But, and on the outgrowing friendships, how does it look for me? I tend to be quite a direct person. So if I feel as though the friendship is starting to become something that it's not really, I'm the type to probably address it quite quickly, and I'll be very respectful about it because I realize I'm not supposed to be everybody's person. The same way, not everybody's my person, but I am the type to. But this is also, it depends on the friendship because sometimes I've let things go on longer than they should have. But for the most part, I tend to be quite communicative about that kind of.
Do you know, it's so mad as well the fact that you touched on a lot of people in their friendships think they're the influencer, but you're actually the influencee. I feel like you guys have helped me in that sense where it hasn't, the way you said it is, some people might think it's negative, but it can also be positive.
Yeah.
Like how outgrowing friendship used to look for me is I would never address it. I would just let it go. Even if it's a friendship that means a lot to me and I know I should say something, I don't say anything because I'm weak.
I used to say they could sell water to Ashley. Literally water. I used to say it to her all the time. Anybody can literally come up to Ashley. She could be holding water in her hand, holding water in her bottle. They'll sell her water and she'll buy it
because she's just that lovely.
Because she's very soft, like, and in a beautiful way. It's not a bad thing.
Not a bad way.
No, but she's not even that person anymore. You've grown.
I had to put my foot down. I have water in my hand.
Do you know, life makes you like that.
Exactly.
Because people will walk on
because in school.
Because even now as well,
school
there was an instance even this year where a friendship was no longer serving the purpose that it needed to, or it was just very, I don't want to use the word toxic, but it was just very,
it was unhealthy.
It was unhealthy. Yeah, exactly. The person didn't need to be that close to me. They were there longer than they needed to. They shouldn't have had the access that they had to me to begin with, had with me to begin with, and I had to address it. Like I had to say something, and it made, when you said that, it made me realize, wow, the growth.
No, you've grown so much.
Hallelujah.
Absolutely. Me as well in secondary school. Like I probably used to be very nice.
She was so timid. Temi was more timid, like she is than she is now.
And it's so crazy because people will watch this and think, oh, like,
I feel like now people don't be able to recognize who you were in secondary school.
I hope so.
That's good.
No, reals, you've changed a lot, and you changed like not quick. To be fair, earlier than. Like you changed quite a while ago. You've been who you are now for a while.
For time.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm so proud of the person I've become, because in secondary school I never thought I'd get here.
Really?
I never thought I'd get here.
I used to fight all her battles.
That's so cute though.
Yeah.
No, because I've always been that.
Been that girl. Sorry.
Yeah, even though, like, don't get it twisted, I'm not like a horrible person.
No, not at all.
But yeah, you can't walk all over me.
You can't.
That's it.
And that's the thing, if you are an influencee, it's not a negative thing, but you should be aware that you're very easily influenced.
And also look at how they're influencing you and what they influence you to do.
The friendships you choose should also be friendships that you know they will influence you positively. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Some people are not influencers because that's not their personality trait. It's not you to be very like on people's lives.
Some people like easily soak up the people that they're around. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like once you understand that, you're more intentional with who you let around.
That's it. What about you, Gbengz? What is it? I know you answered generally for guys, but what does it look like for you? How does it look for you?
Do you know what it is? Like I'm the type of person to easily let people back in it. But I feel
Gbeng's got a heart of gold. He does. Guys.
I feel like though. I don't think it's a good thing. So what I've been doing more recently is I might explain a situation to an outsider, like someone that's close to me, like my mum, for example. I'll let her know the whole situation. She's a bit more tougher than me, more mature. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So more times she will show me what she thinks I should do. I'll take it into consideration, because if it's down to me, more time I'll let it slide.
And he's not confrontational.
I hate you,
more time I'll just let it slide.
It's always good to. I think that's another way
offer a new perspective.
That's a good.
And I feel, is it just me? But sometimes when I feel like I'm getting someone else involved, it seems like, oh, like, should I be talking about this to someone? I don't want to seem like I'm gossiping. I don't want to feel like I'm gossiping. Like, but sometimes I think it is.
It's about who you choose to. It's about who you choose to confide into. Because honestly, there's people you're going to confide in. They are the streets. So who you're confiding to is not the person to confide in.
They're not listening.
You need to confide in someone that can be neutral.
That's it.
And they are. And someone that cares about you.
You hear it on BBC News.
Someone that cares about you.
Yeah, listen.
Because like I can explain the story to two people, two friends, but like, for example, one friend might be way more triggered about it than me. Be like, bro, like, how can you let someone do that to you?
And they can't think objectively.
Yeah, you're not thinking logically. They'll feel you are when you'll go on a rampage. I'm saying that's not what you need to do.
The right person,
someone that knows you, someone that knows. Okay, Gbengz, you've got a heart of gold. I know you want to let this person back in, but you're not seeing X, Y, and Z.
And someone that can take their personal emotions out
that as well.
Can mediate and can tell you when you've gone wrong as well. Absolutely.
Godly counsel.
Exactly, godly counsel. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm the type of friend, when these girls tell me, and even if Gbengz was to tell me something too that someone's done to them, I'm the type to in the moment be like, you know what, I want to beat them up, but then I'm able to then reel it back in, and then give them logical advice as well.
I feel like that's what we all do,
and that's normal as a friend. But don't be. You have to have both. You can't just be one.
You have to step out of your emotions and actually have both.
You can't just
and also be able to correct your friends. Because one reason friendships sometimes distance as well is because, say for instance, you offered correction to a friend and they took it very personally to the point where they said, okay, we can't be friends anymore.
They want yes people around
when
them.
it wasn't even your issue to begin with.
Do you know what I'm
just
saying? You've come to let them
issue.
know, oh, this is something I've noticed, like I just wanted to let you know, maybe
No, that's a difficult friendship because you have to
It is.
tiptoe around them. No.
Exactly.
and no one wants to walk on eggshells.
Nobody.
Like, in this day
Why
and
did you
age,
bring it to
everything
me
that's
then
going on.
if you didn't want my opinion? Like,
Yeah,
No, that's what I'm saying. They're correcting their friend on something that the friend is like, and then
that's
that friend, that takes it personally.
Yeah, like, why are you taking what I'm saying personally? Like, you've asked for my opinion.
They haven't asked.
Oh, they
No,
haven't.
like, say for instance, say for instance, okay, listen, yeah. Say for instance, you guys have told me something that happened between you and somebody else,
Right?
And then I let you know that, okay, one thing you did there wasn't good.
So why
right.
did I let you know if I don't want you to give your own?
Because people want yes people around them.
Yeah. Like say for instance, you guys are telling me something, and you know I did something wrong, and I would expect you to tell me.
What are friends for?
But that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, once you've told them, the situation is now no longer about what you guys were originally talking about. It's now, you think I'm doing something wrong, and then the friendship will end.
That's a personal. That means you have a personal
bridges.
problem against me.
And you didn't want the friendship to thrive anyway.
But
so.
I personally think
Because what does that
your
mean?
closest friend should be able to correct you, and you should be able to take it in love and not take it personally, because that can easily make a friendship die.
And it's not to say that it's easy.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's never easy.
When someone's correcting you, it's never something that you're going to take like, yes.
Yeah, of course.
I love this. Yay.
Of course.
No, but
criticism is never.
But I'm so sorry.
you
Like,
But they love you. That's why they're telling you.
and there's a
if you
scripture
can't see,
there's a scripture that I love, where it says the Lord disciplines the one He loves. So that's how I see it in friendship. Like, if you love me and if I love you, we should be able to tell each other, like, look, this is
wrong.
what's going on.
And another important part of telling your friends is the way you tell them as
Yeah,
well.
delivery and tone.
And that's a very, very important part, because sometimes the people that decide to leave the friendship might be seen as crazy or you can't take criticism, but sometimes the way other people give their opinions to their friends is not in the best way.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't come from the best place, and sometimes they can really belittle others.
You're right.
That's
Some
true.
people patronising, condescending.
I don't know if people mean to do that on purpose or they just it's just the way they are. But if you're a kind of person in a friendship where, I'm not saying it's not necessarily about being direct. You can be a very direct person
And still be kind.
I'll be honest, you can even be confrontational sometimes, but the way you have to do it is very important.
Yes.
At the end of the day, everyone deserves respect. You can't just decide, I'm going to say things however and expect someone to take it. No, I'm not going to take it.
Yeah.
There's a way you say things. Do you know what I mean? That's
100%.
very, very important.
Oh,
Because
100.
a lot of people disguise these things they disguise disrespect in these things.
Oh, I used to do that. I used to do it all the time. When I was growing up, I've always been very direct, but I was rude. Like, I was just very rude.
No, but you've grown.
And I've grown so much because I used to be like, oh yeah, but I just tell people how it is.
Like,
but it's a disguise.
If you don't like it,
it's a disguise for me to read you for filth. That was my disguise.
Yeah,
But you know what I'm saying?
And some people generally do it to see how far they can push you.
Yeah, no, I wasn't that bad, but yeah,
you,
but you're right. Some people, they love that. They want to like almost manipulate that situation.
Exactly. And if
Very
someone,
true.
I'll be honest, if you want to walk away from a friendship because of that,
No, if you've got manipulative, toxic people in your life, you should walk away from
obviously,
them.
obviously, I kind of diverted a little bit, but yeah, that's all in
Absolutely.
all. Like, everyone should just be very self-aware when we're doing these things. And like I said, friendship heartbreaks are so sad.
Yeah.
They are.
They're so sad. But
Even the thought of losing you guys hurts my heart. So,
why did you say you were gonna replace
Tem?
She wasn't saying that.
I don't know which hill you want to die on. It's not that one that you must die
Yeah,
on.
she wasn't saying that.
You wasn't listening.
Tell me
What
how
I
you
actually
said
think
she
is you
was-
wasn't
she was
listening to me. What a friend.
she said she was replaced.
On that note, guys.
But before we round up, I wanted us all to give a tip on how we think outgrowing
I was actually
friendship.
going to give one now.
Oh, okay.
My
Go.
one would be the type of friend that you would
Want to be.
you would want to you. Yeah. So someone to be to you. So if you know you're someone that you would want understanding, you'd want someone to be kind, you'd want someone to be there in your times of need, make sure you're giving that as well, because friendship isn't just take, it's also giving.
It's sacrificial.
I genuinely believe in we're here to serve. Like, that's what we're called as Christians. I know not everyone's Christian, but that's what I believe our mission is to serve other people. It's not just about you. So get your head out your own arse.
Wow. Okay.
Wake up and smell the roses. Look around you.
Smell the coffee.
Yeah, that's it. And when you do that, then you'll see what each friend needs, because every friend is different.
Wow.
That's what I've got to say.
Wow.
Thanks.
You like it?
Thanks,
That was
Ashley.
really, really
Hallelujah. Gbenga.
Temi wants to go next.
Because I think I'll forget. Sorry.
Yeah, you go.
Mine is just. Why are you laughing?
Sorry. This girl.
Mine is literally just, I was literally thinking about it just now. Just be a gatekeeper for the kind of people you let into your life.
Wow.
The older you get, because when we're younger, like we said, we've spoken from like sixth form and uni and onwards. Like back then, you know, this is how I see friendship going, literally like this. The reason I do this is because it's gone from like a lot of people
wide
to narrow.
Narrow
It down, because not to say you can't have friends, but if we're talking about
have a
friends,
filter.
have a filter. You can't just let people in and out of your life like that. If you care about your life, you gotta gatekeep properly.
That's really good.
This is powerful, man. This episode has really.
I enjoyed it still.
What about you?
I would say don't let your, let's say, previous hurt from friendships, relationships affect the people that come into your life.
He's talking to the men.
Yeah, for real, random. Yeah, man. Try to give everyone a clean slate. Yeah.
Wow. Mine would be like, be intentional about seeing all your friends as individuals as well. Because for me, like, I know my friends are very different. So how I would discuss something with Temi would be different from how I discuss it with Ashley and how I discuss it with, because, and say for instance, I needed to tell something to Temi, like correct her about something, I wouldn't approach it the same way I would approach it with Ashley, because they're different people. I think a lot of people don't have that grace for their friends. They just expect all their friends to be like them. I used to be like that as well. I used to expect people to understand things the way I understand them. And it doesn't allow that friendship to breathe. It keeps it kind of like cage. So yeah, give your friends that grace and treat them as individuals and love them for who they are and tailor your friendship to them. That's what I would say.
That's a great one. Tailor that friendship to them.
These tips have been amazing.
What an episode.
Thank you for coming on, Gbenga.
No, it's a vibe. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
It's just a vibe, but that guy.
See this TikToker. You guys should be doing more TikToks though.
We don't need. This is what we're still filming.
Why are you bringing it up?
Why would you do that?
Because he knows me. I'm already ready, but they're not ready. Anywho,
who's most likely to sitting down with this?
Okay, thank you. Oh, we should do that though. Do you not think that should be an episode?
Actually, and a whole episode. I would love to do that.
Yeah, you guys should have a games night.
We should definitely have a games night.
Trivia questions.
Oh, that would be sick.
When was the first episode aired, Temi?
Coming soon to YouTube.
They said when, no when.
When?
When?
In November.
That's correct. She's correct. She's correct.
Well done. Push and push go. Push and wish.
Like a rat.
No way.
But she got it.
She said I know my stuffs.
I'm screaming.
But don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Sdwts Podcast. Give Soapboxx Studio a follow to X and also Pull Up Podcast.
Yeah, man. Find me
if
there.
You want to see more of
those
Gbenga,
are my boys.
Honestly, we love them. Shout out to Pull Up.
Yes, you guys are doing so well, by the way. But yeah, that's
we do. We do need to have you guys on.
Yes, we'll link up.
Anyway, bye. We'll talk about it behind the camera. What are you doing?
Sorry, guys.
Okay, bye, guys. Bye.
See you next season.